Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to still the quarterfinals of the SpyParty Summer Cup. My name is Taboshi. I'm joined by host and caster today, Wrestler.
Yes, thank you, Tobo, for joining, and thank you everyone for watching. And although it's still the quarterfinals, we had to have two very big matches. If you say this is the semifinals or the finals, I don't think anyone would bat an eye in here.
Yeah, I would absolutely believe that statement for either of these two matches. We've got Lev T versus Adafiesh later on today, but first, it's Rov versus Graash.
Indeed. So Raw versus Graash. We can take a look at the bracket here. Oh, sorry, that's the wrong scene. Okay, it's fine. It's fine. So we can take a look at the list. So we already had the first quarterfinal two casts where we saw Guggy take on Snacks and Minioronic Beanie. So we're gonna see them in the semifinals. But in quarterfinals, we have Adafish versus Lev. Now, Adafish came in second from the group in an upset fashion, losing to Virgos, but quickly going back on track and easily going past Psycho Slap in round of 16, while Lev had a crusher immediately in round of 16 versus OP Rights, and he took that game in 7-4 in kind of a comeback fashion. I think he won like the last 6 games in a row to win 7-4. And this is good. But we're starting Raw versus Graash. Both Raw round of 16 match was fairly an eventful one versus Pocky. Pretty easy 1-7-3. While Graash had a less easier time versus the newer player Astin Effect, going to quadruple overtime and winning 11-9. So Graash. I think that Graash is gonna look to avoid that long of a set this time around.
Yeah, I would assume he wouldn't want to push it quite that long.
Indeed. Speaking of the tendencies of both these players, why I can talk about it, Rob is in this tournament at least he's coming back to this still of a slow and steady style, basically. Completing Flirt in like a minute 30, and just kind of idling, doing nothing, lulling a sniper into false sense of security, and just finishing in like the last minute and a half in the sniper's eye. While Graash has been a bit more loose in terms of his spy play, and that netted him mixed results. Sometimes it just hell or high heaven. It's just either really works really well or just kind of falls flat on his face, and he's gonna need to do the former rather than the latter, because Rav Sniper is indomitable this Summer Cup, back on track in form. During this entire run, he lost only one sniper game up until the round of 8. So
that's wild.
Indeed, that is wild. We can go to the picks and bans. So it is first to 9 this time around. It's not first to 7 like in round of 16. So each player can... It's still the same 6 venues, but each player can choose to double one venue. So Rob decided to double Gallery, while Graash is doubling Ballroom. And we'll have Library. Oh, I messed up. Which one is it? Oh, dearie me. Where is it? I for sure... Oh yeah, we're missing Library, Ballroom. We're missing Terrace, Modern. No, we're missing Redwoods in there. So instead of one second, let me update. Should be Redwoods up in there, and then Library, Redwoods, Terrace, Modern, Double Gallery, and Ballroom. I'm based on the tendencies. Both of them like those maps. So it's gonna be interesting to see how they're gonna turn out.
Absolutely. Either way, I think we're about ready to go. Let's get into Graash versus Rov without too much more delay. Going to be starting things out on Library, any 5 of 8, with Rov on the spy side versus Graash on the sniper to open the evening. In 3, 2, 1, playing it.
Indeed, as I expect, it's gonna be a slow start from Rob. We're gonna be chasing our seduction target maybe early. We decide not to. It's
No,
center
it looks
statue.
like he's just sort of hanging out for the first little bit, sort of waiting to see where things settle, waiting to see if anything in particular opens up for them. Seduction target is not in a particularly enticing place, so Rob is just going to take his time and have a nice slow start and ease into this match.
And you don't really want to chase your seduction target while they're at the center statues. You don't want to get an immediate highlight in the first 20 seconds of the game. Especially for the first game.
Smallman as the seduction target, by the way, so making sure they are in the party, but not necessarily the spy. They can also be moved around a little bit if they need to get a little bit of extra heat on them at this rate. But we finally do, with like a minute into the game, settle in next to our seduction target, pick up our first flirt, a close green for 51%, and that is how we're able to get things started.
Yeah, we're eyeing out. I think we're currently eyeing out the statues at the back there. Ambassador just leave the fingerprint on the center statues there. That could be, if we keep an eye on that and not a lot of people go into there. As I say that Disney immediately goes there. It's gonna put a lot of suspicion onto Disney, as he had partial inspects before, but now with inspects complete and a print, Rob is gonna be looking out for Disney, make sure Disney is gonna be staying in the contact, etc., maybe framing him as well. As well, we have a 2 flirt down here.
Meanwhile, Rov was just hanging out here in this conversation, waiting for the flirt cooldown, and it did wind up getting the 2 flirt off of the timer. So, a slow start indeed, but getting the seduce done in 2 will help.
Yeah, but there's still a difficult fingerprint on the center statues at the back there. Rob maybe just hoping that no one else go there. Rob still has an amazing green rate. I don't think... Is there a fingerprint on this drink? I don't think there is.
Well, there is a contact available.
My mistake?
He takes the print off of the drink.
Yeah, there was a difficult...
That's a nice pickup. But with 2 minutes and 10 left to play already, and just this one completion, Rov is really heavily behind the clock. So he's going to have to get a pretty serious move on if he actually wants to go for mission completions here.
I think we're just hoping that Disney lands in the conversation somewhere. Since I think that's the biggest target for Graash's sniper currently, and he is not cooperating. We're eyeing out Disney. We're just hoping that he goes to the conversation. Unfortunately, he just doesn't. And at some point, what point do you just realize that I need to bail on this and need to just start... the
thing is, it might be too late to start pushing missions at this point. We're under 1 minute and 30, and we still have 3.5 missions to pick up. I don't know if that's reasonably doable.
We can go for a contact here. There's still a difficult fingerprint at the middle statues there. If Riot hits a green test, that could be an inspect swap print finish. And instead we'll go for a BB and split.
Does eventually have to take the BB that'll knock out Disney, and across the venue we go. Might try to pick up this bug, but no, doesn't want to commit to a double walking, so just bounces back across. Into the statues we go. But 45 seconds to play. This is not center statue, so it's not going to be inspect swap territory. Not that we have the second print done anyways, so it's a very difficult situation to find ourselves in. He does take the green swap off of 2 inspects. Graash does not even wait to see the swap take place, just takes the shot, and that is a very strong start coming out of Graash.
That's an impressive shot from Graash, but it helped a little bit that the party was not super active, I think, apart from Disney initially, and we had to knock out Disney at the contact there, but party's not super active. No one's really getting any completions done. When we just go to the, especially maybe at that point when we're going to maybe attempting a double walking bug there, we're thinking, oh, maybe Salmon could have a bug there, and there's maybe I missed an inspect somewhere, an inspect swap finish, and he's the only one reasonable enough to finish. So I imagine that's why we took that shot.
I think so. Let's see what Graash is able to do from the spy side of things versus Rov's sniper here on Library. In 3, 2, 1, playing it.
Now, 5 of 8 venues are still harder to with immediate white time at.
Ooh, that's an interesting little decision, especially for a usually quicker spy like Graash.
Matt sometimes you can sometimes do it just to throw off somebody, someone. Just like you can see. I mean, he would have definitely preferred to do a green time mat rather than the white one. But that could distract the sniper from someone just like, oh, there was a time mat and I don't. And we cheesed this briefcase.
Briefcase cheese is fun to see, and I don't think Rov even had that on screen at any point in time, so that's effectively a free print.
Yeah, and that's something that's, excuse me, go ahead.
There's our first flirt coming in as we enter this conversation, so this is what we expected out of Graash. Faster spy play, a bit more shenanigans, and just managing to slip little things in here and there that will give him a little bit of an edge moving forward, and getting a free print is definitely an edge.
Yeah, since Rov's sniper has been indomitable this entire event, that's something that Graash is definitely going to be needing. That those kind of I want to say cheesy, but rather I would rather say not cheesy, but smart plays as we go for a fake BB.
Opportunistic plays, maybe. Fake contact is a little bit odd to see, but there were a lot of people in conversations. There's the flirt getting done, so that's one mission complete already. Still over 3.5 minutes to play.
Look at the amount of highlights, though, how many there are in the party.
And how many of them aren't Graash.
Yeah. I always think about it as being one of 10 highlights is always better being one of 2, but when you're not even in the highlights, it makes that even better. Oh, are we in the golden bug range? I don't think so. We're gonna push that out, I think.
I don't think it's the golden bug range, but it certainly is bug range. There's the bug coming off as Rov swings over to the blue side. Doesn't come back nearly fast enough to catch anything of it. So that's bug done, flirt done. One fingerprint probably completely off camera. 3 minutes to play. This is a very strong start from the spy side of Graash.
Indeed, but I've not looking from the sniper's point of view that bug was visible, but it's always a question: was it seen? That's something that you need to know.
I don't think it was because of the way the sniper movement felt. It was like as Rov was swinging away that started happening. So likely if he did catch something of that, he would have double-taked a little bit.
And if that bug is not seen, then we're on good track. Is there a difficult print here?
Into the yellow bookcase we go. That was a gulp, and I think he might have gotten caught for that.
That was a stealth highlight as well, and those highlights tend to be the worst ones. Since you're basically saying, I don't want this person to know that I highlight them. And that's almost smells disaster for Graash. Even though we thought that the fingerprint and bug was clean. And here's the bite test. Banana bread.
That's contact, and yeah, I think at that point Rov was just waiting for an excuse. Graash had a huge start and lost it in a very surprising way. A lot of snipers aren't going to be able to catch something like a second sip gulp at a bookcase like that. That's a pretty strong pickup from Rov.
Maybe we saw the bug. I want to go back to that a little bit. I want to see from the sniper's point of view. So here's the bug coming in. Just coming in any second now. The start of it was visible, so I presume that's at least credited. And I imagine that highlight that we got, maybe a pathing one, or just noticing the gulp.
Either way, that puts us at 1-1 after the library games. Graash put in a very strong showing on the spy side, but Rov an even stronger showing from the sniper. Time to head into Ballroom, any 4 of 8, and this is a venue that can really mix up the scoreboards. Let's see what Rov is able to do first on the spy side in 3, 2, 1, playing it.
I expect the, especially this is still early in the set, I expect basically the same game plan. Maybe we'll decide to switch it up, but maybe not initially this early on in the set.
Yeah, I suspect this is going to feel fairly similar. You're not going to start playing too differently too quickly. You're still settling into the match here. Rov steps in next to his seduction target for a much earlier flirt than he was able to pick up last time.
We're waiting for, okay, here another green though. That's always nice to have the possibility of just having a 2 flirt done. I hang out the ambassador. Maybe we're thinking of doing a walking bug, double walking bug, but ambassador's a bit too quick on that.
Ambassador has been very, very active though, so he hasn't been caught anywhere without anyone to invade his personal space, so he's been moving around a lot, and that's the kind of thing you like to see as a spy. Now, Ambassador might settle in for a little bit. We'll see what winds up happening here. But it looks like Rov, same as last time, is just content to hang out in conversation and wait for this timer flirt to tick over.
I imagine that Salmon is a bit suspect still. We have Center Inspects done as Salmon, plus we could have done a bug there while we were sitting at the statues there. The ambassador was close enough, so if Salmon gets a real BB, I don't be surprised that person would be shot here.
Flirt done in 2 minutes and 45 left to play.
Indeed, so, but only flirt.
Only flirt indeed. There aren't really that many prints around, despite how active the ambassador has been.
The ambassador was is walking from the conversation place, and he's not leaving many prints at books or at their statues. As I talk here, he leaves a print at statues, so.
In conversation with the double agent now, trying to line up a good contact, but a few too many people in motion right now. With just over a minute to play, though, Rov doesn't have the luxury of waiting around for a good opportunity. There's the purloin take. I think he got a decent look at it. Contact comes off immediately after. Does Graash respond with a shot? Indeed, he does. The shot comes off, and Graash holds serve once more.
Yeah, as apparently I jinxed it for Rob because I was talking about his amazing green test, and sadly we just hit a white purloin, I think immediately after General took, and we saw the list still there, so we were the only ones available to be in that purloin chain. And
yeah, I think Graash was always going to take that shot. It was just a matter of confirming in his mind that everything was lining up the way he thought it was, and there wasn't any mistakes being made. He knew he wasn't in immediate danger of losing to missions, so it doesn't... there's no reason not to take your time in that kind of situation.
Also, the ambassador was in the spot where we could maybe potentially have bug as well, so that's also a mission count shot, so unfortunate for Rob, but a good catch from Graash.
Let's see what Graash is able to do on the spy side of Ballroom in 3, 2, 1, playing it.
Salmon yet again.
Graash settles early and immediately starts looking around for targets, but does not wind up chasing the seduction target to bookcase early on. In fact, the seduction target winds up coming to him. It's a green, but not a close green test, so it's just 37% off the first flirt.
It's still nice that the seduction tower came to us and so gave a flirt for absolutely free.
Absolutely.
Now, this would be an inadvisable bug attempt. We're being stared at. There's a list taken, and yeah, that's. I would have commended Graash for trying, but it's also a bit too bold against the
I
Cypher
think
off.
if he was going to try for something there, it would have had to been the reverse drive-by as the Amber was on the way in. But once that situation settled, there was really no opening there. There's the second flirt coming off. Another green test. This one brings us up to a total of 75%.
Just like 5 seconds ago, would have been a really nice opportunity to do another fake contact. Even though we didn't have it, a lot of people would have had contact there, and that just puts a much more bigger of a toll for a sniper to handle, especially when it's like one person outside of conversation, and there's 10 people with possible reels. That said, again, this time Graash taking a book out of Rob's play, taking a play of Rob's play move and just playing very slow.
Very slow start indeed. We're trying to do the double timer flirt, which does indeed wind up working out. So that's the flirt done, but we only have 1 minute and 30 seconds left to play and no other progress. This might be a time ad.
I would like it to be a time ad.
But Rob is right here.
Yeah,
There's the time ad. A white test, so not able to hit the green off of that. Waited just long enough that it wouldn't immediately beep over. So after that time ad, it jumped up to 1 minute and 58. So 2 seconds of wiggle room there is not very much. But it was well timed from Graash, all things considered. Now in conversation with the double agent, looking for a good opportunity to take this contact.
Again, Ambassador bless us with us. Oh, DA bails as soon as Tobo says. But I think we're jinxing the players at this point.
Yeah, you hate to see it. Down under 1 minute and 30 again, and still no extra progress.
Maybe
It might try to be some sort of purloin shenaniganry. There's just so little time left. Graash getting back into a very full conversation.
We do request after Buns.
Request.
Oh, but Buns takes.
Yeah, we're not going to be able to get any sort of chain on this, so it doesn't wind up going for it at all. But with 45 seconds left on the clock and no extra progress beyond the one contact, it's just going to be a frame attempt. There's the contact coming off, and Bastard drops in to say hi. A little bit of a twitch over before we get this bug, but it does wind up taking in the end. I just don't know if it's going to matter with 30 seconds.
And unfortunately, that contact, both of the SDAs were out, so Rob knows it was a clear fake. So we just need...
Such an unfortunate situation. 15 seconds. I don't see a way forward through mission win. You've got to find a way to induce a shot here. Well, a green purloin might get us there in the end. We have to find another mission in 5 seconds. Where's it going to come from? 2 seconds.
Not
1
the ping
second.
pad.
Out of time. Rob is able to hold the shot. And I'm very surprised Graash didn't crash into the statues and try to get some sort of swap off.
Yeah, I was about to say, as you were saying, where's that last mission going to be? It's definitely not going to be at the painting pad there.
Yeah, I thought he was either going to jump into statues or head to windows to try to get that last second time ad, but it didn't wind up being either.
Yeah, but I think that was a nice bug, though. I'm not sure how much credit that was.
Yeah, I think the bug was really nice. It was an opportunistic moment, went for a Hail Mary that had a very low chance of being caught, but also a very low chance of working out in the sense that they just didn't have time to complete missions.
Yeah, I think...
back into...
Yeah, we're back into Ballroom.
Back into Ballroom once more, this time Rov on the Spy versus Grash's Sniper in 3, 2, 1, playing it. Who is going to break through first?
I think it's gonna have to be it's gonna have the Spy win, obviously, but if I had to guess, Graash, because even though the second game wasn't very active from him, he was he is still more active currently than Rov, and if the snipers hold serve with relatively easy shots thus far, I imagine that Graash would break through first, just because his spy play is more aggressive, and that could catch Rov potentially off guard.
That's true. Rov does have a very slow and consistent style of spy play, whereas you never really know what you're going to get from Graash. So if it's one or the other and they're both playing strong sniper games, chances are it's going to be Graash who finds something. But if Rov can just find a really clean game, sometimes that's all you need.
One underrated skill that Rob I think is one of the best at is knowing who in the party is the most frameable and is the biggest suspect for the sniper, and potentially always leaving them as an option for the sniper as we go to side statues for a couple of inspects.
Yeah, early visit to statues is something that a lot of spies often try to avoid, but Rov knows that Graash isn't the kind of sniper who is likely to highlight for the first side statue visit, so is able to get that out of the way early without being glowing for the rest of the game for it. Not able to get the flirt at the green bookcase, unfortunately, but he's still here, so might be able to get something off of it.
Yeah, but it's still, yet again, minute 30. We have partial inspects, so we can always inspect swap at the late game, but I think the seduce currently is the big... Oh, and we get a highlight. Whoa. What was that for?
Yeah, I'm not quite sure what that was for, rather. Into the windows we go to pick up a quick time ad. This one's green, so that is likely to work out a little bit better than a white may have. But it looks like we're sort of hanging around the green bookcase, hoping our seduction target will drop back in to put that book away. Hanging out here for quite a while, actually, before stepping away from it. Seeing the seduction target not going where we had hoped, we're going to chase over to paintings to pick up this second flirt to bring us up to 81%. So we've got the flirt most of the way done. We've got 2 out of 3 inspects, and we've got a minute and 10 seconds left on the clock.
And we're putting this book back correctly. I don't imagine we'll transfer. We just don't have enough time for it.
No, I think he was very much trying to Jedi mind trick the seduction target, who has a green book, into the bookcase with us to put it away and pick up our last flirt that way. But it was not meant to be in the end. 45 seconds left to play and no mission completions yet. There's the double walking bug, bounces off the ambassador. I think may have been caught with the arm out just a little bit during the spin, but I think it got by Graash pretty cleanly. It was a good bug, and now we've got a purloin going. Oh no, the cough on the way out! The purloin does come off. What's the reaction from Graash? Only now I think it's a look at the list. The shot comes off. The cough was enough of a distraction, and what usually winds up being terrible winds up being a godsend this time through. Rov is able to induce a bad shot with a cough to distract.
That's something that I was not expecting. If you could take a look at this replay here, where is it? Here it is. We just go for this cough. We just go for this BB split, but unfortunately, we just cough. But from the sniper's point of view, I don't think it's really seen if you look at it from his position. It's not really seen. Salmon was the one that's blocking. And indeed, we didn't take a look at the list before Salmon took. And now we see that the list is gone and Sam is the one picking it up. And fortunately, that's just a shot.
Yeah, just as Toby was putting that away, he tried to do the banana split to pull the sniper's eyes away to get the information there, but wound up just coughing for it instead. Wound up doing the exact same thing, probably even better than the contact would have done, because snipers know that contacts are often used to try to hide a purloin, but coughs aren't. Back into Ballroom once more. Rav wound up being the one breaking serve first. Let's see if Graash has an answer from the spy side of Ballroom in 3, 2, 1, playing it.
I think at this point, everything that we predicted to happen went the opposite way. I think we said that it's like it that Graash is gonna break serve first, and we immediately jinx it.
Lots of bouncing up against the ambassador, but never in a good position to take that bug. So it's just going to be into conversation with the seduction target for a 51% flirt to start the game.
Indeed, again, I imagine we're gonna take the starting slow because the party is quite very dead at this point. There's not a lot of distractions to go for a play or some sort of a sneaky play, rather. So I think we're just gonna be waiting here for a little bit, waiting for the party to give us something better, since almost everyone is in conversation, not doing much.
Yep, very much just sort of chilling out in conversation, waiting for the timer flirt to tick down, and keeping an eye on the party to see if anything interesting opens up. But what winds up happening is that the seduction target bails. So Graash just immediately chases into conversation. Now we're in with the double agent as well, and we're able to pick up the second flirt to finish the mission.
That's I'm losing count how many 2 flirts have been already in the set. Both players showing excellent green rates, at least in there. But again, we don't have
very full conversation.
Indeed, would be a good time to banana bread, even though there's a couple of highlights outside of the conversation circles here.
Graash does not appear too interested in taking the contact right now. Rejecting a drink from Toby and just sort of waiting to see what comes his way. There's the contact coming off now that a couple more people filter into conversations. That is a very, very good contact. It leaves off Smallman, but I think that was the only light that was able to be gleaned from that contact, which is really good.
But how many low lights is Smallman worth?
Fair point. Under a minute to play now. There's the third mission completion on a green purloin pending. Steps out of that conversation to try to distance himself from Toby a little bit, and Toby is moving around a good amount. Here comes the take. Sees the list gone. Little bit of a camera shake indicates that maybe we're not quite sure what happened. The shot comes off, but it's not the right one, and Graash answers right back. It's 3-all.
I think that Rob was, even though I said this confused, I don't think Queen was even in the chain. I want to take a look back. I think Queen wasn't even in the chain. So I want to say, oh wait. Yeah, okay, Queen wasn't the chain before us. Yeah, she was a highlight. I'm wondering what she had beforehand. I don't think she had much. There's not a print here. I don't see any bug credit. There's no statues. I'm not sure what's the fourth mission on Queen that Rob is crediting Graash for Queen rather, but it's a quite a big chain, and it's the end of the game, so you just I guess you have to assume that the spy could be finishing here, and sadly for Rob, it's the wrong shot, and we're all tied up.
Yeah, it's a reasonable assumption to make, but didn't wind up being true this time around. All tied up, 3 apiece going into gallery. Rav, the first to take the spy role in 3, 2, 1, playing it.
Now, I imagine on gallery, especially Graash, is gonna try for some. There's a lot of shenanigans, yes. And I expect him to do so since thus far standard play hasn't worked. Oh, that's an immediate highlight onto Rov.
It is indeed not something you want to see as Rov, though it was quick enough that he might not notice.
Again, I just don't know what...
Especially because he doesn't feel like he's done anything worthy of a highlight at this point.
I think that highlight feels just like you exist in the party and I don't like you, therefore it's a highlight. Because Graash is also one of those people who is a key in path annexer. He can narrow quite a bit based on pathing alone, but we were just standing there. We're doing the opposite of pathing. Just standing still. We still get a highlight.
Couple of small bounces on the way out front here, nothing particularly impressive, but we are able to join up with the seduction target out in the front conversation here to pick up a quick flirt for 34%.
Oh, I suspect this is a... No, I think it's just the flirt reset, yeah. But I don't think it would we stayed fast
just a back and forth to bring down that flirt timer. Ambassador joining in could be interesting. There's the next flirt coming off. This one is green, so that brings us up to 85%. Nothing done with the Ambassador after all.
Yeah, that would have been a bold play, let's just put it. The Graash's laser was, while not on it, definitely watching the Ambassador, and if we would tried for a reverse drive-by bug, the Disney's arm sticks out quite far, so we would be able to see it.
Yeah, it was certainly not a great position for it. Probably the best thing he could have done if he wanted to was just wait for Toby's tray to start coming back up and then just do a standing bug and hope the sniper zoomed in.
And again from Raw.
Back into conversation with the seduction target, this time in the back. That gets the flirt done. 1:30 to play and 1 mission completion and no other progress.
Yeah, again, this is... While Rob is an excellent... He can be an excellent spy. Thus far, his spy has been too slow, too safe for Graash. I feel Graash hasn't been in that much pressure yet. Well, yes, he did have a sieve shot onto in Ballroom. I just don't think there was a lot of it. We are next to Ambassador, but we are being death watch for a potential bug there, and we gladly don't take it.
Yeah, Rav has been playing very slow, solid spy play, but he's been losing the timer a little bit here and there. And he hasn't really done anything to apply a huge amount of pressure to this sniper in really any of these games.
Oh, if I know Graash, he will not like that path and conversation positioning, especially if we're in the Purloin spot. Indeed, we go for a fake banana
contact. Oh, it's a white test Purloin. Graash is immediately on top of it. The shot comes off. And Graash is able to retain the lead once again. Even if that Purloin is a green, I'm not sure what we do with 11 seconds to go. Like, I don't see a play for a win here. I think we're just waiting for a time, and we're just timing out or just hoping for frame someone. That said, I want to take a look at this highlight. I think at that point, it's just try to hit the green and hope there's enough suspicious people join the chain to force the sniper into a 50-50. There just wasn't really that much to play for with so little time on the clock at that point.
Just taking a quick look back at the highlight. We just got a highlight for rejecting a drink and not leaving immediately afterwards. I still don't understand what that is for, but I'm not gonna question it for my own sanity and move on.
That is a wild highlight, but Graash is now stepping into the spy side of things on gallery 4 of 8 in 3, 2, 1, playing it.
Seduction target again not playing nice.
Indeed. So Graash is just going to sort of wind up at the back of this conversation. I am surprised there wasn't a reverse drive-by bug attempt. There is a break in the conversation that would have left it pretty wide open, so it's a good thing he didn't, but I definitely expected to see it just then.
Maybe a drive-by into a walking bug, so maybe that could have been a play. But I imagine Rob credits those as anyways. Oh, unfortunately, Irish takes our... Even though there is a spot still, but not close enough for the selection target to get a 2 flirt. We're gonna step in regardless.
Actually winds up a little bit farther from the selection target than he probably could have been. So these are not going to be very high-quality flirts. Green test off the first one brings us 37%, and the selection target steps away. So it's something, but it's not much.
It's not much at the start of the game. I feel like that's been a theme lately from both players. And I don't know if you want to say if that's just nerves from both of them or just knowing the opponents are punishing quick play in their research. But at some points, you kind of have to play a little bit disrespectfully towards a sniper if you want to get wins, I think.
Yeah. Especially as Graash. Graash is very much used to playing a more aggressive style of spy than we've seen out of him so far. It'll be interesting to see what happens with that moving forward.
Yeah, in the previous tournament SML, since I do remember the stats, as we go for a white timeout, I cut off by Graash. That's gonna help with our pacing issues.
Yeah, it certainly will. 2 minutes and 30 seconds is the current time on the clock as we step in for our next flirt. This one gets taken for 68%. We had safety off on Damon for a bit there, which is not something you usually see.
Yeah, this isn't the Wobbles Wackadoodle Replay Relay where Damon could be potentially the spy.
Back out front we go into conversation with the double agent. 2 minutes to play. Unfortunately, the suspected double agent is on the move and not in conversation, so this is going to cause some trouble for Graash if they decide to take this, and it looks like a pretty good time to take it, too.
As good as it's gonna get on Gallery, honestly. Of course, we don't know that SDA is out of the conversation on the statues here, but I would have
Double agent bails, though.
I think we just waited a bit too long. I think we kind of had to take it, even though it's, in hindsight, not the best one. We kind of had to take it.
Yeah, I'm very surprised Graash didn't jump on that contact, but it might wind up working out. Now in conversation, again, without the suspected double agent in, there's the flirt getting finished up with 1 minute and 15 seconds to play. Time is definitely starting to be a crunch.
Oh, there's a highlight for, I think, for flirt chase, and that's what I think that we get highlight for. And we are in the purloin spot.
Under 1 minute.
Again.
No contact. Double agent rejoins again. 45 seconds now as we enter the beep beep zone.
Banana bread.
There's the contact coming off.
A far worse one.
There's the purloin. This one is green, and it's got a little bit more time on it than Rov's had, though we don't have that last mission to play with. There's a bug attempt at the painting. It does take, but it also gets caught. Rov on top of it. The shot comes off. We're still even.
I think, again, the problem with this game of Graash, at least it's a nice attempt to finish the game, but unfortunately, just due to the lack of time, we go for this bug that's basically, it's right in the sniper's face. We're quite literally waving at him.
Yeah, that is a very optimistic bug. As soon as anybody is not in the way of that arm. And to be fair, the Ambassador was in the way of that arm for a moment or two, but wasn't able to cover the entire animation. And that's just not a bug that's going to take almost ever on Gallery.
I mean, it took, but it wasn't not caught, let's just say. It was caught. Yeah. And I think, again, that's just due to a lack of pacing yet again. We just, at this point, 20 seconds, we have to do this or just swap or white swap with the Purloin as well. And that as well with being one of two highlights at the party due to the not so great BB later down the road that we had to do since we didn't have time. I think Graash just painted himself in the position and he couldn't get out of, and Rov took advantage.
It's an issue that's been plaguing both of the spy roles so far. Let's see if Rov is able to break out of that trend as they step back into the spy side of Gallery in 3, 2, 1, playing it.
I like to, even though it may not work, I just want the spy to basically finish with 2 minutes, put the pressure on, because currently the spies have been methodically slow and the snipers have taken advantage of it. They just feel, oh, I don't have to be worried about this person going to the back statue at 2 minutes, since there's no way he could have done it at this point. But at some point you just have to say, no, I could be done with 2 minutes. You have to watch for it. You have to be wary about it.
Yeah, throwing some rushes in match play is always a good way to force the snipers to pay you a little bit more respect in the games moving forward. None of them have done it yet. Rov here on the spy was able to get the worst possible flirt and then a fingerprint off of the briefcase here at the back.
I'll have you correct. The worst possible flirt is the 0% flirt, a Redwoods. Worst possible, a worst percentage flirt, let's just say that.
17% is where we stand at the moment. One fingerprint in pocket, which can be a really big deal moving forward into the latter half of this game. Seduction might be a little bit tough. This is definitely a venue where the seduction target can throw a pretty big wrench in your plans.
Yeah, same with the double agent. There are just 2 conversation circles and a bunch of painting pads and other pads that the double agent can land in and not be in conversations, pardon me.
Yeah. Speaking of the double agent, they almost bailed on us again, but forced themselves back in the conversation right before the suspected double agent dropped in to say hi. So we do still have this contact available, but like the last game, suspected double agent not in, unbeknownst to the spy. Well, now the conversation's kind of exploded, so that time has come and gone.
Yeah, I was about to say that I think that the contact now will eliminate more than half the party, and with 1 minute 30 left, I don't think that's the play you want, but I think the play you want is to start to do more missions currently.
Yeah, I think the play you want is to not have gotten down to 1 minute and 30 seconds with 17% on the flirt. There's the contact finally coming off. But the flirt just doesn't look like it's feasible at this point. There's just no time.
I imagine we're gonna try, I was gonna say Purloin into a transfer immediately. But no, and we again pick up a highlight.
It was a weird little path around the ambassador there, kind of openly displaying to the sniper that no bug is occurring. There's the second flirt to bring us up to 60%, but we have to step away immediately because we can't wait for this timer. There's no time to do it. We've got to get a green test on the next flirt, and we've got to get 2 missions done in the next 30 seconds.
We go for this fingerprint here.
No, there's a print here. We do get the print done. That's 1 mission. I don't think we're going to be able to successfully get this thing slammed, especially not going out front like this. It's going to have to be a green time ad at the front of these windows and not getting caught for it. It's a little bit early, It is green, but didn't wait long enough. You can really hear the beep beep slowing down at that point, and even though he did get himself back in the game time-wise, Graash was immediately on top of things. The shot comes off, and that's a game done.
I think again with these behavioral highlights from Graash are something interesting. We get highlighted around minute 4, just leaving this conversation circle. I don't see anything wrong, particular pathing wise, but I think it's just thinking, okay, I think that's quite literally because of the slow pace that the spies have gone. Say, okay, at the 1 minute around that time, a spy is gonna maybe leave a conversation circle after BB, and that's what he's gonna try to do missions or try to get away with something, etc. And I think that was just the byproduct, that slow play. And unfortunately, even though we get brought back down later, even that fact that we were highlighted in the first place puts a wrench in our plan, since we remember, like, oh, that could be a spy, since I remember highlighting Twin for this exact reason. And again, I just wish for the snipers or the spies just be more active, since we'd not leave ourselves any time to do anything.
Well, if either of them is going to do it, it's probably going to be Graash. Let's see if he's able to up the pace a little bit. In 3, 2, 1, playing it.
Have you learned nothing, Tobo? We've jinxed every single thing thus far.
Hey, it's a good segue. Come on.
I'm not disagreeing with that. But First Blood, the Caster's Curse has been up to 11 thus far.
You're not wrong. But an early print is certainly something that could be useful in the latter half of this match.
Indeed, I like this early print especially, since it just leaves us such a nice option later down the road. If we may choose it not to finish it as well, if we think that would be too obvious at the very end of the game. But just, again, I like that Graash is giving himself options, at least, for finishing this time around. Even though our seduction target is just...
It gives you a lot... It gives you an extra out near the end of the game to work with. Some extra real estate, and often that is a very important thing to have as Spy.
We finally captured our seduction target.
First flirt to 34%.
So I'm gonna say, we finally captured our seduction target. He was quite running all the way up and down this gallery. Not interesting looking at any of the paintings or interacting with people.
Yeah, but Graash is getting a move on. It's not a super fast start because the party wasn't playing nice for it, but he got that early print done, and now he did a little bit of a back and forth to the window to bring him up to 85% on the flirt after this second close green. So Graash is definitely getting a little bit more comfortable in this game, moving a bit quicker. And this is a second print too.
I want to cheese this. I want to cheese this.
Print's done.
Yes, Graash cheese it. I love this. And now, oh, I would like to finish flirt here. Oh, for flirt rotation goal just expired. So I would like to finish flirt here if that was available, and now we'd have a lot of time to choose our missions if we had flirt done as well. Fortunately, we don't, but still in a good position, because I don't think that fingerprint was seen at all.
Grash's head has been on a bit of a swivel, looking up and down the party, trying to catch a glimpse of an interesting opportunity. But for now, it's just going to be chasing the seduction target back into conversation here to get the flirt done. 2 missions left to get with 1 minute and 15 to play. This is looking a lot better, and a fake contact as well. Real double agent out, fake one in.
That's so sad for Graash, because that DA was in 2 seconds before we actually started the action test for the green contact. So that's just very unfortunate for Graash. I like his pacing, his current time around, but I don't know if this is gonna be maybe we're gonna go for a green swap into a contact later, but that's oh.
either way, it's going to be a statue visit. This doesn't look like a swap statue. This looks like a just getting mission progress statue, possibly setting up for an inspect swap at the end of the game. But we're already pretty close to the end of the game, so that might be a little bit bold. 20 seconds to play.
Where are we going? Okay, we're purloining into bug, I assume?
10 seconds. It is going to be the purloin. It is going to be a green purloin, but we're very low on time. 3 seconds. There's the bug going into the blue bookcase, and the shot comes off from Rob. He did not like that entry.
I mean, again, at the end of the game, one of the suspects just kind of casually comes up to Ambassador. The arm is slightly seen, and that's all there is to it. There was a reject before after, so just assuming, okay, that's just a purloin to a crash bug finish. An easy shot, relatively easy shot for Rav, and we're all tied at 5.
Definitely a faster game from the spy side, but sort of the opportunities kind of dried up in the middle, and Graash wasn't able to do anything outside of the game plan in order to create opportunities for themselves at the end. So you just kind of wound up bleeding time and couldn't come back to it. We're tied at 5 as we start to get down to the brass tacks of this match. 1 spy win apiece as we head into Redwoods. Rav first on the spy side in 3, 2, 1, playing it.
Coming back to the draft, this is one of Rob's more favorite venues, and also I was surprised that it wasn't double picked by Rob, since this is Graash's was almost a permaban in SML, so not a favorite of his as well.
Well, that could mean that Graash is starting to become a little bit more comfortable on this venue, a little bit more willing to play it in competitive situations. Rav starts things off at a bookcase statue for the 1 inspect and as little heat as possible. Now it's going to be the window flirt. A fairly close green test brings him up to 51% off of that start. So now Rav is starting to move a little bit quicker off the start of the game.
At this point, I guess realizing that, okay, thus far slow play has not worked on Graash. He only has sip shotted once, and every other win on Sniper was relatively comfortable for him. He's thinking, okay, I'll have to step the game up. I'll have to step the pace up, rather, and dare Graash to shoot me earlier, which so far he hasn't had any reason to do.
Rav picks up a delegate from a fairly quiet bar. And then it's back in the conversation to pick up the second flirt to bring us up to 85%. He does still have that inspect from the beginning of the game as well. And 1 minute and 45 seconds to play.
This would be
I don't expect this delegate is going to be used.
Maybe at the very tail end, just to send someone else at the board, have just basically clogging the memory for the sniper, just having to remember one more person that was at this bar. But never mind, it just expired.
Nope, not even that. Timer expires without any sends. 1 minute and 10 left to play. No more progress since the last time we checked in. It's just the 1 inspect and the 2 flirts. There's a fake contact, unfortunately in conversation with a suspected double agent, unbeknownst to Rav. And back out to the bar we go. This has been a very quiet bar this game.
The unfortunate seduction target was not playing Nas, not anywhere near to get flirt on or around. So we're gonna go for DA. Maybe we're gonna go for his bug here. No, it's Ambassador just leaves. Contact into send. Oh, failed.
There's the re-entry. Goes for the walking bug. I think pressed the button just a split second
Banana
too
bread.
soon. Ambassador hadn't quite settled yet. There's the contact, there's the delegate. Is he in range to take this bug? He is in range of the standing bug, but Graash was on top of it. The shot comes off, and Graash holds once again.
Even though it was a fast star from Rav, but again, that the mill game is just again a bit too slow. While it was a better attempt at the end game there to finish, I just that bug is, while at a good timing it could work, but unfortunately that we were guarding that perfectly, and Graash takes advantage of it and just shoots Rav immediately and is up 6-5.
That's pretty much been the story for both of these Spy players. You get good starts, you get good ends, but the middles have just been so slow that by the time you get to the last minute or so, there's just not that much to play for. You really have to rush it, even if you want to finish missions at all. It's just been a tough time on the Spy side for both of these players, but we're still going. This is why we play the games. It's Graash on the Spy side in Redwoods in 3, 2, 1, playing it.
Oh, I was wondering if we're gonna do a reverse walking bug there. That could have been strong, but from the sniper's point of view, we were guarding that extremely hard well. So, in hindsight, good thing that Graash didn't try for that crazy bug.
It would have been very bold indeed. Double agent drops in to say hi. Suspected double agent looks like they're joining the middle conversation as well, so we'll see if we decide to make use of this.
Oh,
it's not a perfect time for a contact, but it's pretty good, all things considered.
Maybe we think we're waiting for Irish here, but I just think that yet again, if we wait too long, that DA is just gonna bail, and we're getting a bit too greedy. Who wants to be in our contact? Maybe now that Salmon is in and he was at the statues.
Yeah, I think this was just sort of a situation where you're early in the game, you know, you have time. It was a just one more party goer sort of situation, and it wound up working out. Contact comes off, but we spent a lot of time to get there.
As maybe
out
we're gonna go.
Windows we go. I wouldn't be surprised to see a time ad here.
I would like to have a time ad here. Graash disagrees.
Graash disagrees indeed. This is going to be our first flirt at the fireplace here. A little bit of awkwardness on the way into the pad, but it's still a green flirt for 51%.
At least nice it's a green flirt that we can finish into, potentially green. But unfortunately, again, this time, party's kind of dead. No one's going at bar, no one's really going to statues, everyone's in the conversation circle. So the only one that's doing things is Smallman, but Smallman is loaded from the contact, and he just... Party is not giving any favors towards the Graash currently.
And especially at this high level of play, it's very difficult to get anything by the sniper if this party doesn't give you a little bit to work with. Back into conversation with the seduction target. It'd be nice to get a 2 flirt here because of how tight the timer is. We do indeed get the flirt done in 2, so that's 2 mission completions. I believe we do also have a delegate in pocket, but with 40 seconds left to play and a very quiet bar, I don't know if we're going to be able to make use of it. The time is a big, big issue.
I think we're going to send Alice here, but I don't know if that's even going to take. I think if there's a place... Yeah, Salmon's just rejected. I don't think that's even going to take. And I think we're going to... Oh.
It doesn't matter either way. The shot comes off before we have a chance to see what even happens with the delegate. And Rav has really... Both the snipers have really been on top of things. The spies have just not had any way through beyond that wild business at the start of the match.
Yeah, I think we just noticed the scent from Redress here. And I think that's just enough to shoot. Even though it's just 2 missions, that's just enough for Rav to shoot. Okay, I've seen the delegate. It's no way that it's Alice going herself towards the bar to get the purloin. Someone is sending it. And Red Dress was the only one that, pretty much the only one at bar who had it. So an easy shot for Rav to tie things up.
6-6 is the current scoreline as we head into Terrace. 2 venues remain. Let's see what Rav is able to do from the spy side of a very small venue. In 3, 2, 1, playing it.
It's a big balcony, you can call it.
It's not quite balcony. It's not that far off, though, all things considered. It's an early green flirt from Rav, picking up 51% to start off the game quite quickly this time around, and immediately stepping away.
If this could be a fast, we could try and go for a fast finish if go for a delegate contact flirt here and dare a sniper to shoot in if we complete missions in like minute 30. But
we certainly could. We're certainly getting more play from the bar than we have been in the previous games. Already, a few people have been there.
The DA comes to our conversation. We could, if we hit this green flirt, we could just send, finish, and dare the sniper to shoot. It is a green test.
I'd love to see it. That's the flirt done. Here comes the contact. It is a white test on the contact, which is a little bit awkward. But the contact is done. There's the send. But this has been 2 self-interrupts in a row. Graash, I don't think, has noticed that particular intricacy. There's the take. There's the mission win countdown. Do we get the shot? We do! Graash on top of things. The shot comes off. And by far, the fastest game of the match so far, Graash is able to pick up in the end.
I still love that play. Just daring the sniper to shoot at... What is it? Minute 20, minute 30 left. And that's the change of pace what's been thus far. And
yeah, that was a desperately needed game from Rav, even if it didn't wind up working out. The party gave him everything he needed there to make it happen. The only thing that could have been better is if one of the other early bar goers was in this conversation with us, but it didn't wind up happening. That said, it's going to put Graash on their toes for the latter half of this match. Let's see what Graash is able to do on the terrace in 3, 2, 1, playing it.
I kind of suspect the same game from Graash. He really likes that play as well, especially with this high green rate as well.
Early bar visit, grabbing that delegate. Taking a sip before we get out. We've got 2 other bar goers we can play with to try to distract from a send that we try to take. 34% off the first flirt as well as we step into conversation.
So probably the fast game is not gonna work out right now, since you'd really like to have a 2 flirt when you're doing it, and that 34% is gonna foil things a little bit. But it's definitely not out of the game yet.
Double agent is not readily available either. We'd have to swip over to the other conversation.
Yeah, that's also a sniper noticing point of saying, "Oh, I've seen someone next to person going to a bar and then going to a double agent immediately in contact, and that could be enough for a shot." And we do delegate for general.
There's the delegate just before the timer expires, so just creating a little bit more attention at the bar. There's the next flirt coming off. Another white test brings up the 57%. So if we want to get this done in 3, it's going to have to be a close green.
Seduction target goes to a conversation with the DA, so... Oh, I'm probably gonna chase, but... Okay, maybe that's... I also approve of this play. Contacting flirt into its sense. That could be strong.
It could be indeed. Picking up another delegate. This one a lot less strong than the first one was, as the bar has been a lot quieter as of late. I think the only person who's been there recently was the last delegate we sent there. Not in position to finish up the flirt even if we did hit the green, so we actually wind up red testing this just to get the seduction target moving.
But unfortunately, it's not
45 seconds left to play.
Yeah, unfortunately, that's our seduction target is not a big suspect thus far. No, it doesn't. Oh, that's.
We just sent a delegate to someone who got low lit on the way to the bar. That could wind up being incredible for Graash, or it could wind up being a nail in the coffin. 76% is the current seduction rate. Purloin has been taken. There's a contact to distract a little bit. Off to bar we go to finish up this flirt. 10 seconds. It is going to be a couple seconds of overtime. I don't know if Rav is going to have the reflex to get this done. I think Graash might have gotten through here. 2 seconds of overtime. Safety off on the wrong person, but it doesn't wind up mattering. Graash gets through on Terrace.
Yeah, finally, you're correct. Graash does break surface on match point, and I just we were never really a suspect for this Purloin. I think after we see it happening, we don't get highlight. Queen gets highlight. I don't think that Queen could even send general. I want to see. Yeah, so Queen could never really send general, but I think we just did it in such an opportune time that the sniper just didn't notice us next to general, and we were never really a suspect and were able to finish at the last game. Match point,
all right.
though.
6-8, the current scoreline. Graash has 2 match points on Modern, any 4 of 8. Rav has to get through on the spy side right here, right now, and then has to hold serve on the sniper to stay in this match. Let's see if he's able to do it in 3, 2, 1, playing it.
Now, if Rav was quite slow and steady before this game, now playing for match point, I imagine it's gonna be even more tighter, especially in this place. That's what you expect usually, right?
Sometimes you get nervous and tighten up. Sometimes you recognize that you have to try something big because this is your only opportunity. And that makes you loosen up. We'll see what Rav winds up doing, but for now, it looks like the former because this is a slow start indeed. Seduction target drops in to say hi, but is quite a distance out. Rav is still able to pick up a green test, though, so even though it's not a very good one, it's still 30%.
Yeah, but even though it's always hard to say, don't be afraid at the match, or don't turn up at the final. What is the match point currently for you? It's a must-win situation. You kind of have to do that for as Rav, since slow play thus far has not really worked, and I don't imagine it would change all of a sudden. But that said, Graash also has a lot of pressure as well.
Absolutely. Second flirt, another green, but hasn't moved. 60% is where we stand.
It's still a
If we want to get this done in 3, we're going to have to move A and B, hit a green test.
So far, Rav has had trouble with the A part of it and not the B part of it.
Well, we do have a bit more time on the clock. white test time ad coming off at the far left window, but not able to get back into conversation in time to get the last flirt off before the section target leaves. So we're going to have to leave that for later on. Into the bar we go to pick up a delegate. This highlight is more than likely just bar memorization. I don't think this is actually a suspicion highlight.
Yes, looking at the previous patterns of highlighting, yes, that's indeed Graash is highlighting for the delegate havers or bar goers. So not too bad, even though we're highlighted. It's not a hard highlight.
But again, we find ourselves hanging out in an innocent conversation, not doing anything to progress ourselves towards a mission completion.
And
Rav is really clamming up in the last moments of this match. Section target drops in to say hi, nice and close. Green test comes off. Flirt done. 2 minutes to play and 3 missions to get with no progress. Delegate timer expires as well, so we're not getting anything from that. It's slow going for Rav.
And the problem with slow going, especially on Modern, it's not a venue, let's just say, even though it's not in this one, like TN, where you have a lot of... Oh, wait, fake BB.
Fake BB indeed. A good few lowlights off of it. A highlight or two as well. But I don't know if that was worth the cost. Minute and 15 to play. I think Rav is starting to realize that maybe a mission win is not entirely viable. We've got to induce a shot in a different way.
I mean, thus far, looking at the sniper's POV, I think General is one of the top suspects. So we send a delegate to General. I would expect General to be shot.
Double agent bails! It's definitely not going to be a mission win now.
It's all falling apart for Rav. 40 seconds left.
He's got to find a way to get somebody framed. Whether that's a contact, whether that's a delegate. It looks like it's going to be a delegate for now. It's not a bad move either, because Duke there did have that ready to go. But the shot comes off and Graash gets too antsy, winds up taking the shot on General, and Rav just has to hold serve on Sniper to push it to overtime.
Oh no, that's tragic. What? Even though General was the top suspect looking for the... I don't know if you shoot just for that flirt there. I don't know. I want to take a look back what he did. Maybe he was thinking that I possibly missed the bug at the front there, since Ambassador was standing in the golden bug range for quite a while. But also maybe misremembering maybe a transfer credit as well, it seems.
Whatever it was just one step too far. Rav was backed all the way into a corner. One last Hail Mary to try to find a way through, and Graash just gifts it to him at the last second of asking. Now Graash is on the spy, needs to find another way through here on Modern, or face balcony overtime in 3, 2, 1, playing it.
Balcony overtime is something Graash is something quite used to, as previously mentioned. A quadruple balcony overtime versus Astatine effect. Though I don't think he wants to...
That doesn't make it any less stressful.
As I'm about to say,
Early green flirt at the windows to bring us up to 51% to open the game. Look at that bar! Look at it!
Yeah, a lot of... And Rav isn't the one to highlight for bar. And if you have to memorize 5 or 6 people at bar and all the possible locations that could send, it just takes a mental toll, as we do hit a green for 86%.
Yep, second flirt done. One more will finish that. One more from anywhere at this point. New bar we go.
Are we gonna? I don't think we. I mean, it's hard to say. I don't think we can direct take. I think we're just gonna be in this chain and gonna send to someone. I hope to send to someone because there was a lot of people at bar.
Yeah, absolutely. I think with as busy a bar of that was, it would be foolish for Graash not to make some use of it.
Look, we're next to Pearls if we're gonna send, and we do.
Yep. Does not wait around because he knows that the other people who were at that bar have their timers ticking down. Rov has not been highlighting for bar memorization either, so he's got to keep all of that in his head.
Is this gonna come off? It's, I think, maybe barely gonna come off.
This should come off.
It does.
It does indeed.
Okay, let's see if Rov remembers.
One low light, starting to get a few highlights, Graash among them.
So fingers Rov is on top of it. And now the problem is, even if we finish Flirt and the Contact, the problem is that fourth mission. What can you do as one of the... I would say there are a lot of highlights currently. So... maybe we can get away.
Indeed.
We can get away with it.
That's one of the troubles with trying to keep that busy a bar in your head.
Banana
It's
bread.
pretty easy. Oh no, fake contact, unfortunately in with a suspected double agent. That's unfortunate. Safety off! We had safety off on General. Just for a moment.
Yeah, Rob is really on the ropes here, thinking, oh, like, who could it be? If just, I think again, Rob doesn't have a fourth mission on General. I think that's why the shot hasn't come off yet. If
The bookcases we go. I think we're just bleeding time here. I don't think we're going to try anything with these books. It's a little bit too obvious as one of a few purloiners. Indeed, that just goes back to where it came. 45 seconds.
what is the play? But at this point, it's gonna be contact into a crash bug. Looks like that's the first part of it.
Banana bread.
Contact, there's the contact. One low light, two low lights, three low lights, safety off! I think Graash has inherited the top suspect position.
There's
Under 10 seconds now. I don't think Rov is going to pull the trigger. I think that was what Graash was hoping for, that
the bug
last
doesn't even take
contact
off.
would induce a shot, but it didn't happen. Went for the final desperation bug, but it didn't take, and that's going to push us to overtime.
Oh yeah, it's just unfortunate for Graash. I think he would have really liked to finish the game right on the sniper side, and he was like 35 seconds away from doing it. I don't think Rob was gonna finish in that short of time, but unfortunately nerves got to them. And when nerves get to you in potentially infinite balcony, it's going to be stressful time for both of these players. I mean, it's gonna be a wild ride. Let's, I guess, jump right into it and see how we're gonna come out of it.
Ladies and gentlemen, we might be in this for the long haul, but it could be over at any moment. Rov, first on the spy side of overtime balcony. In 3, 2, 1, playing it. 2-minute games. The arcadiest venue that this game has available to it.
So to quickly explain the overtime, if someone is not astute, we keep going until someone sweeps a venue. So someone gets a 2-point lead.
Balcony
Otherwise,
forever, win by 2. That's
Yeah.
all it is. There's the first flirt coming off a little bit later than you usually expect it to on balcony. Quite a bit later, in fact. 47% is where we stand there, so it's not in range for a 2 flirt. That puts Rov considerably behind the curve on the spy side here. Can't even get it done with 3 green because was too far away from the seduction target to make it happen. Minute and 5 left to play.
Yeah, just unfortunately a small man in the way, so we can't potentially get a 2 flirt, and they usually the safest avenue towards winning in balcony, even though it's still hard. It's basically 2 flirting into a green contact, what we're calling a 3 green game, and thus far Rob is not going to be able to do it. I don't think we even have the time to flirt.
No, he's spent far too long delaying in that conversation. I think Rob is so used to playing slow that he is being caught out by balcony's timer. We're under 30 seconds.
Yeah, and
a little bit of bouncing on the way back in. I don't think it's going to matter.
Luckily for Graash, Rob rather.
Fake contact. The shot comes off, but it's the correct shot, even after all that delay. Graash has the first opportunity to strike.
Indeed, I wonder if that's there was a little bit of an awkward pad there at the end there, so maybe that's just another confirmation for Graash. But white contact, especially one of the top suspects, just does, even though it is a fake, a sniper doesn't know that it's a fake, and we're the ones stalking.
The only venue in the game where the sniper has no suspected double agents.
Yeah, so
cannot see any yellow arrows.
Indeed, and that's still a great shot from Graash, but because I think we only had one real talk, one real flirt rather, but I think just Graash realizing that no one else can really be the spy and just takes the correct shot. A little bit bold shot, but still a correct one, and one more win, and Graash is into the semifinals, but it is balcony.
Advantage Graash. Let's see if he can get it in 3, 2, 1, playing it.
Just hope for Grash's sake that this is another quadruple over time. I don't think,
this is much more what we would expect to see on balcony. Very, very quick first flirt. Brings us up to 51% on the quick green. Not in a spy-like position either. Usually the spies like to tuck up in one of those 2 back corners, but this time Graash is right out front. It's not going to give him much less suspicion, but it might be something.
Seduction target bails.
Starts to go ahead.
Yeah, seduction target bails. Even though it's not far, it's still gonna reduce the filtration cooldown ever so slightly, and snipers especially are very aware on balcony for the timer flirts. Oh, the seduction target.
There were 3 open spots, 2 of them right next to Graash. He was in the perfect spot for it, but unfortunately the seduction target picks the 3rd, so it's going to be a 3 flirt. 1 minute to play, still plenty of time. Here's the contact. It is a green contact. Oh. This is going to be a difficult shot for Rov to take, especially with that green.
The shift on to queen. Oh, Rov really doesn't like queen here. Doesn't shoot it yet.
Graash has had good timing on these first few flirts. He's been able to get in quickly. There's the cooldown.
We need a green here.
Does he take it? He does indeed. He can't hit the green. It's a white test. 93% disaster strikes, but it doesn't matter either way. Rov is on top of things, takes that shot, and we're back to even.
Oh, that's a nice shot. I think the second flirt when a general comes to us, and then it comes to a conversation circle and we immediately flirt. Even though it's a cross conversation circle, we noticed that we were flirting first with General at the start, and now when General comes, we immediately talk. That's something that players on balcony notice, and the and they just flirt parry with that. So I think that's what Rav would noticed and led to that shot when the third flirt came in. Even though we didn't finish it, in Rav's eyes we could have.
Yeah, and especially because it was pretty much exactly 45 seconds between that insta-flirt with General and the next. That's a pretty clear indicator to a spy who's paying attention. We're back even. Rav on the spy in balcony overtime in 3, 2, 1, playing it.
Still going.
We are still going, and Rav is not able to get into the conversation cleanly at the first time of asking. There's a spot next to the ambassador. This is such a big delay on the first flirt. It's going to cause Rav some serious issues, same as it did last game, unless he's able to get a 2 flirt, which he's not because of flirt positioning.
Yeah, but
this is a really, really rough start from Rav. It's a good contact, though.
It is a good contact, but the thing is as well that balcony is very prone to stiff shot as well, especially even I would say even the higher tiers of play, since it's just you credit 2 flirts and 3 greens much more. So I wouldn't be surprised if we don't flirt here and let someone else take the bullet.
Yeah. The only other option at this point is to try a desperation bug, and I don't think Rav is going to go that route.
Yeah, 40 seconds left.
Keep in mind, this is any 2 of 3, so Purloin and Fingerprint are both completely unavailable. It's bug or flirt, and the flirt is far too far gone.
Yeah, I think we're just gonna have to crash bug before we have any shot of finishing missions, but in Rav's eyes, maybe we're thinking that Sub-Sibs is gonna get shot at any moment.
Yeah, I don't know if we're going to finish missions. Rav hasn't been talking, so they haven't been bringing attention to themselves. 5 seconds. It's just Smallman who's been talking. No one else has drawn the fire. There's the bug attempt around the back at the last second of asking. Graash is on top of it. They take the shot, and they have got another chance at it.
Very good good start. I think it's a nice strategy from Rav, just doing nothing and daring for the sniper to hold, and Graash rather holds. Party maybe slightly good for it because at the end game because the only one was talking was Smallman, and Smallman was the only lowlight basically. But still a crucial hold from Graash, takes back advantage, and yet again needs only a spy win on balcony. Those are the easiest to come by usually, but thus far Rav has been pretty good at catching the spy. So let's see if he's able to do it again.
This is going to be Grash's 4th match point, 3rd from the spy side. Let's see if they're able to make it happen. In 3, 2, 1, playing it.
Is that a close? Yeah, that's close enough for a 2 flirt. Yes. Okay.
And again, that very early first pickup brings up to 51% on the green flirt. And getting it early is often exactly what you need on a game of balcony.
Yeah, but indeed, that does help. Let's just okay, a green
There's
test
contact.
that knocks out wheels, unfortunately. Oh, seduction target bails.
That could be really good. If he re-enters, we're probably going to want to wait a half a second before we take the flirt. No, Graash actually steps away as well. We're going to have to tuck in really close to the ambassador or queen on either side there if we want to be in range for the 2 flirt, but it looks like Graash is really going all in on getting this done in 2.
Yeah, we're just waiting for room next to Disney here. And
we have room now. Ambassador re-entered at a bit more of a distance. Look at all the time Graash is spending out on the edges here. This is going to be a very difficult shot for Rov to take if Graash is able to hit this green test. Now the question is, can he hit it?
I think this is almost for the set here. If he hits this green, it's an incredibly tough shot. But it relies on us hitting the green here. And I don't want this talk before 10 seconds.
Gotta talk, Graash. 13 seconds.
We have to talk.
Hit the button. Press the button. It's gonna be overtime. What is Graash doing? There it is. It is green, but it's a significant overtime. Oh, I think Graash threw that. I think if he'd gone just a little bit earlier, he could have had that game. Just waited too long.
Yeah, waited too long. That was still a 3 green game, but we leave plenty of overtime. Maybe if we talk right together with Disney here at around 8 seconds, it would be a 50-50 shot and barely any overtime. But Graash, I want to say, gets a little bit of cold feet and just stays for too long. If we flirt with 4 seconds left, and that's just an easy overtime shot for Rov.
I don't know about easy. There were still certainly other suspects. But at that point, it was enough. Rov is able to stave off Graash once again. And we're back to even as Rov steps into the spy side of balcony in 3, 2, 1, playing it.
Graash is unfortunately unable to get away from long overtime games this Summer Cup, sadly. Back into another one.
And Rov again can't find an early flirt. And again winds up across the conversation from the seduction target. Gets that early contact, but this is not a good flirt situation at all.
I think this is gonna be a repeat of last game. We're just gonna dare for the sniper to hold.
Unless they can find some crazy bug as the ambassador comes into conversation, 34% on the flirt is not going to get you there.
But I think the rest of the party so far has been very chatty, and the one way to put it. And
I think that's a low light for inactivity.
Yeah, that's a low light for inactivity. Of course, low light on balcony is still nice, but
it doesn't mean nearly as much as it does in other venues.
Yeah, since you can, I've noticed that at least some competitive players do low light and high neutral light to indicate different flirt pairings, even as we do here.
There's
green
the
flirt.
Second flirt. Gets us up to 73%. We've spent so much time around the edges, we might actually have enough time to get the last one in, especially because the seduction target stepped so far away, but it doesn't matter. Graash takes the shot, and it's the wrong one. Rov's slow play finally pays off, and for the first time this match, Rov is on match point.
Yeah, that's just balcony at this point. I think the Duke was the one who had white contact at the end there. Who was he flirting it? He talked with okay, he talked with Twin here, so I want to see what's the other. Okay, so I don't think that Duke could have had flirt done, sadly. Based on but at this point, when you're 21 games in, at this point you're just going off instinct at this point, and unfortunately,
especially on balcony.
Yeah, and unfortunately, that's just not the right one. It's, of course, balcony is an unforgiving mistress, and sadly for Graash, it didn't work out this time. But let's hope for Grash's sake that the spy play will help him out.
We shall see in 3, 2, 1, playing it. Rov sniping for the match. There's a bug! He took a bug! Graash has bugged this man and not died! for it. Never mind, he died for it. Rav gets to the semifinals.
Oh, that's tragic. I think if we wanted to flirt there, since our seduction target is right here, but action priorities means we just bug instead. And unfortunately, we have a big sticking out hand there by the side of the ambassador. And that's just tragic. That means Rav will go on to the semifinals. But what, I mean, I wasn't a fan of the first half of the set due to how slow the spies were. But at least luckily the balcony, they did pick it up both on spy and sniper. So good set, that latter set from the Ivories, and just, oh man, that's just unfortunate for Graash. Balcony is just unforgiving, and one tiny mistake just cost us even the set.
Still, the resilience of Rav throughout this match staves off 4 match points from Graash to get it done in triple overtime. That is a big, big win.
Yeah, that's a big, big win. Kind of dodging a bullet since he was on match point and with 30 seconds left with only Seduce done on Modern. But indeed, Rav gets it done and is gonna go against the winner of another quality match of Lefty versus Adafayesh.